What is going on, Neverwinter community? Welcome back to another video. A quick announcement before I get into this. As some of you guys may know, Silvery Productions, whatever you want to call her YouTube channel got hacked, got terminated, and now she has to start over basically from scratch. She had well over 10,000 subs and was, on her way to push 20,000 this year. And I just feel like, being that she's a much better content creator than myself, that I should give you guys a shout out to her channel, her new channel. So I will leave that in the description below. Check it out. Because she used to do these type of videos, patch notes in 90 seconds. I don't do every patch notes because 80% of them are kind of pointless. But being that this is associated with the new mod drop that came out yesterday, I figured I'd go over it and give you my insight on the big changes that went on. I'm not going to speak on class changes, as I don't want to sound ignorant, because I don't know enough of the classes to speak on its behalf, besides the Barbarian. So with that being said, these are the patch notes associated with Mod 18 that came out on console yesterday. Let's get down into the meat and potatoes. Known fixes. Burress, the demonic summoning heroic encounter, has a rocky arch nearby, has been removed. Pointless. Testing, pointless. Pointless. PvP leaderboard, lifetime PvP stats all correctly display as 0 to players with PvP history. Content. Acquisitions Incorporated can now create tokens to give a discount to the campaign. Acquisitions Incorporated is probably one of the worst campaigns to go through. That and Storm King's Thunder, and maybe River District will probably be the top 3. So if you guys don't want to buy out acquisitions, at least make this token on your main, give it to your alt, so it cuts the cost in half. Because if you read the next section, the Acquisition Incorporated can now be bought out. I'm glad this is well overdue, and I hate going through that, because you guys need every boon in the game. So let's do it. Characters created through the recruitment order purchase now start closer to Sergeant Knox. It's kind of irrelevant. Irrelevant. This is pointless. Cues. Cradle of the Death God has returned to random trial. Castle Ravenloft has returned to random dungeon, and Lair of the Mad Mage has now turned to random dungeon. I guess they feel like that we're so overcapped, and we will do fine with the nerf. Don't know. I have yet to do that, so there's that. CTA Storm the Keep. Paladin and Fighter now have access to both shields from the event. It's good. I'm glad they finally fixed that. This is one of the biggest things coming out Mod 18, other than, Mod 18. Storyteller's Journal. For those who don't know, you summon a creature, and that creature does massive amounts of damage. That is being fixed in this mod, which means that you can no longer Storyteller Journal the boss and Tom, which therefore makes it a tad bit harder than what it normally has been. They said in the recent community stream that they don't know when they're going to bring back Tales of Old. I think that this bug has a large part to do with if and when it comes back. So I want it to come back just because the journal stats outside of the NPC that it summons and attacks is good. The stats are good, so why not have it? Eye of the Giant. The damage dealt by its artifact power now consumes. That's it. No. Here, this is another big thing that people were having problems with. All boons now properly give the same item level per rank. Some had incorrect giving item level. Boon points have been calculated, and some players have had their powers automatically retrained due to the change. Gotcha. Class balance. So I will talk a little bit about the Barbarian here. The biggest thing coming out of this little tidbit is Battle Rage now increases damage by 5% more than what it was. So it's 20%, it was 15%. I welcome this. I welcome everything that they do to the Barb, with the exception of the companion slots. If they want to actually help the Barb and rework the Barb, they will give it designated companion slots with tank build and then different companion slots with the DPS build, because yeah, you can get stats other places, but it should be different. The Barb should have DPS companion slots for the most part, like everyone else, and then a tank should have defensive companions. Offense for DPS, defense for tank. Therefore, that needs fixed. It needs to be addressed. I don't know if it's an easy fix. I don't know if that's even on their radar. But to me personally, being that I mainly Barb, this is something that should be fixed. Frenzy, the cooldown of this power is now at 18 seconds, down from 20. Relentless Battle Rage now increases Battle Rage damage to 14%, up from 10%. The following powers, classes, and feat magnitudes have been changed. Brass Strike went up 5 magnitude, and Frenzy went up 50. For the most part, before this change, no one ran those two things, and I guess that's the reason why they changed them. I will test them out to see if they hit harder than, Letter and Indomitable and so on and so forth, but we'll see. Now, they've gone through and changed a lot from this. I read through it mostly. Looks like they've increased the magnitudes and lowered the cooldowns for a lot of things for all the characters. The biggest one is the Hunter Ranger. They've reworked the Hunter Ranger slightly, and now it does less damage. I don't know how this will affect going forward, picking up groups. I'm still assuming that they're top 2 DPS in the game: Trickster Rogues, Control Wizards, Hunter Rangers. That's the top 3, in my opinion. Not in that order, but in my opinion, that's the top 3. Alright, so as we go through these, there's a lot of changes, a lot of things you guys should keep a look at. So we're going to bypass the class changes because, again, there's a lot. Companions now run speed is at 110, up from 90. Kind of pointless, but if you guys still have this summon companions not augmented, it's good that they changed that. Compi's Instinct now properly reapplies at full value when the player changes zones. Good. The Burress enchantment now has a 1-second internal cooldown. That is what people with DPS classes are using. They have that at least one, and this is something to see if this affects the damage that you do. Set bonuses. This is the biggest one. Demon Lord's Immortality, Ixnay, the demo set bonus now caps at 10% damage, reduced from 20. A lot of people are saying that this is not best in slot, and that the new artifact set coming from 18 is best in slot for mod 18 content. I haven't tested it. I don't have that set to test it. But we will see. I don't know going forward after mod 19. If they decided to go with mod 19 and another section of the 9 Hells, then probably will be going to that. But I don't have that information. Enemies encounters. Chasms Ravenloft. This is, why are they keep fixing this? Just fix the bugs. Don't give them health. Don't give them more defense. Don't fix the bugs. Sisters of Strahd now, it is possible to generate threat on the sisters even when they are invulnerable to damage. Arcalyph. Maximum hit points have been increased. Why? No, we don't want to run the dungeon as it is. Don't alienate the dungeon again. More. Arcalyph had a nice health pool. It didn't need to be increased by any means. Why? I have no idea. Strahd's maximum hit points have been increased. The damage of Strahd's lunge and blood flight have been increased. Again, why? Fix the bug. fix the bugs. Don't make it harder to run the dungeons because people don't want to run this dungeon to begin with. Cradle of the Death God. The damage for Cry of the Atropole has been increased. Strongmonger's Cord hit points have been increased. The Atropole's maximum hit points have been increased. The damage to Atropole's arm swing has been increased. And Azarak has maximum hit points has been increased. I get it. People are still going by. They made it easier when you die. You spawn on the actual plate platform than it is spawning up top. But with that being said, I can justify these changes. Demogorgon, that's kind of pointless. Player characters are no longer incorrectly skilled. Stats lowered than a target 24,000 item level. General, no. Items. No. That's weird. I didn't know that did that. Legendary quality equipment can now be converted into refinement points. Didn't know that you couldn't do that, but again, we've been running the demo set since mod 6, so why bother? Storm King's Thunder, certain purchases are no longer locked. Seals. New seals that came out with mod 18, Seals of the Fallen. Double seals events will now work with double seals of the Fallen. And where seals of mountain used to drop, seals of the deep now will drop. Okay. Trial at Epic Queues now grant seals of the Fallen every time you run per day. Successful trials in successful trial at Epic Dungeon Queues as well as skirmishes now grant seals of the deep. Seal vendor has been updated to respect the seals. Gotcha. Stronghold. This is another big one to watch out for, guys. The guild mark costs for explorers cases for Lonelywood Bryn have been reduced down from 3,000 to 1,500. If you're going to be farming those, this is what you need to be doing. You know, you don't get your influence, donate. Donate anything you can to the coffers to get these cases and stockpile for the new Mastercraft recipes. The Zen market is still bugged. I don't know why it's still so difficult to post things in the auction house, and the Zen market is still bugged. So, moving on from that. Parents, And the rest of this has pretty much just small changes in the back end of things, display options, cleaning up some of the graphics. Yeah. And that's it. That's the pack notes. That's the big things I want to talk to you guys about. That's the big things that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. Because, again, it needed to be said. It needed to be done. It needed to be talked about. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, more Neverwinter, more Borderlands, let me know. Subscribe. Notifications on, share, comment, all that fun stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.